In this activity, we're going to wire a split outlet. That's an outlet that actually has two independent sockets in it. One socket is on all the time, the other one is operated by a light switch. To get ready though, we've got to take all this old junk out of the work boxes so we have room to work. I thought about editing this out, but I really want you to see, like, this is not a fun process. There's some tedium here. So take your time, disconnect everything, make sure the wires are nice and straight. If you see a wire that looks like it might break from being overly crimped, go ahead and cut that off and re-strip it. You're going to want those wires nice and clean and straight and sticking out of the box so that they're easy to work with. So go ahead and take your time on this.
Oh no. I could die, you guys. Seriously, look at this. I forgot to turn the circuit breaker off. I could totally die here. Make sure you remove the power from the circuit before you begin working on it. Whew! That was hard. For this activity, you'll need an outlet and a two-way switch. Remember, the two-way switch has the two brass screws on one side with no black screw. We're going to leave the ground loop in here, and I'm going to go ahead and leave these white wires connected on this. We'll use our 3-conductor wire to put the outlet over here. And I'm actually going to wire the switch second this time. We'll take our light and put it out of the way. This will be relatively easy. Right, we know from before that the ground wire goes to green, green goes to ground. The white wire goes to the wide side. White also goes to the same side as the ground. Now here's where we're going to do something different. Now I have 2 more wires, but these are connected. I've got this little tab right here that connects these 2 conductors. So if I just connect a wire to one screw, it will connect to both outlets. But what I'd like to do, we're going to make a 1975 house, and we're going to have one of these be switched and one of these be on all the time. Now it's easier to start on this than to make sense of it. So to do this, I'm going to back off both screws, and I'm going to break this tab. Now once I do this, I can't put it back on, so this will be like a one-time thing for this outlet, and it will never be able to use as a regular outlet again unless I just connect something to both sides. So you're going to use that metal fatigue theory there. Bring that back and forth a couple times until it breaks off. And now I've isolated these 2 outlets. Now on this side, they're still connected by this tab, so the white sides are still connected, but my switch sides have now been isolated from one from the other. So we'll connect our red to one and our black to the other. Gotta love that 12 gauge wire. Just like that. So all 4 wires are connected to my outlets. Where my red and black are, I've broken the bridge in between. So we can go ahead and install this guy. Easy peasy, right? Now comes the hard part. In this box, I've got this tangle of wires. Let's separate this out a little bit. So we have our black wire coming from our power, and we've got our red and black. Those were our travelers before. So one of these, the black one's going to stay on all the time. So this black one wants to connect to this black wire here. The red one's going to go to the switch, and the other leg of my switch needs a black wire, but I'm out of black wires here. What am I going to do? Just so happens I have some extra wire. I've got some 12 gauge and some 14 gauge. I'm going to use the 14 because it's smaller. Remember, the bigger number is the smaller wire. we're going to take about a 6-inch chunk of wire, cut that off, strip one end, and using a gray wire nut, we're going to reach the maximum capacity of our gray wire nut. This can do 3 12-gauge connectors. And we're going to make a pigtail connector just like we did in one of the first activities. So we'll take the 3 black wires together, making sure the ends line up. And that one I can tell is too long. I also want to make sure there's no conductor sticking below the wire nut because nobody likes fires. Not unless it's like in a fireplace. Alright. Get them all nice and lined up. And we'll twist that on. Remember, we want to give it a couple of good twists here. Okay, so we'll ignore the ground for a second. Let's think about our electricity flow right now. So the black wire is sending power. It comes in here and it splits 3 directions. So one of those directions goes down to this plug here and it's going to be on all the time. Another one comes up to my switch and it's going to connect to the red wire. So this right here is my switched connection. So now we can connect our switch and give it a test. Green wire goes to ground. And since these are the same color, it doesn't matter. So we can do a black and a red to our switched leads. And you can see just by my moving this box around how this black wire, my pigtail is starting to come undone. So I'm just going to give that one more good twist. I don't want that thing coming undone while I've got an energized circuit. Alright, now we just tuck all this down inside the box here. Sometimes you can use the back of your screwdriver. Mash that in there, make sure the wire nuts don't come off. Okay, let's test this. I think I'm going to do a little something here. A little bit more exposed conductor there. Then I can fold that in, make a little bit bigger hunk of wire. Alright, so if you look over here, you can just barely see, this is the red one, this is the black one. Let's start with the black. Stick that in there, point that at the camera. Let's put our battery in and see what happens. Alright, so my light's on, and no matter what I do to the switch, that light stays on because that's got the black wire coming through. Now if I jump up here to this switch, this is my switched switch. That comes on when the light comes on. Okay, a lot of times you'll move into a new house and you'll be like, man, how come this one of these outlets doesn't work? Look for a switch nearby. And that's going to turn the outlet on and off. So that's a split outlet. There we go. So the picture on this one, I want a picture of the switching action and also a picture of the always on outlet. And then of course, a picture of both things flipped inside out so I can see the wiring. This is it. This is the last activity for this unit. All right, good luck on this.